Welcome to the Potter's Touch. I am your host for today, Sarah Henson, and I cannot wait for you to hear this message called What's the Big Idea? It is for anyone who thinks that they are a planner. Sometimes God will shake up your life so that he can put his plan in front of your plan. If you're going through this shakedown, you need this message. Take a look and be blessed.
When injustices occur, we always look for logic. We are such rational people. We try to reason, how did this happen? Why are you leaving me? I was good to you. Why do you treat me like that? I've been good to you. Why are you cheating on me? I've been good to you. Why? We look for logic to life. If you look for logic, you're gonna go crazy. Because life acted like it drank a fifth of Gordon's gin. You get a good fifth in you, you might say anything. It doesn't even make any sense. You ever seen an old drunk go to crying? They don't even know what they was laughing a minute ago, and then, my mama died. And you think she just died 30 years ago, mama. Every time. Oh my God, I'm preaching somebody's life. Every time Joseph thought things were going to get better, the Midianites came down there and they bought him for 20 pieces of silver and brought him out, and he thought, at least I'm out of the pit. You know, I'm enslaved, but I'm out of the pit. And when you've been down real low, bad looks good. Yeah, some of y'all don't know because you've never really been down, but when you've been down real low, you can't trust your own judgment because bad will look good. When you've been real lonely, can't nobody even hug you in church because can't nobody just smile at you or anything, because any sign of attention or affection or admiration or anything like that, you don't even evaluate. I don't know this person. I don't know it. You just so desperate for any sign or hope that you done fell in love because they handed you the communion stuff. Oh, the moment I saw the When you know you're vulnerable, you can't trust your own judgment. Because terrible makes bad look good. And so he thought things were getting better, and he went to work for Potiphar's house, and for a season, things were going really good. And then they lied on him again. They lied on him before, and now they're lying on him again. And they lied on him, and everything turned bad. Lied before, lied again. Look, they keep lying. It feels like a cycle. Have you ever gone through something that you say, this is just another version of something I went through before? And the names have changed. You know, last time it was on a highway, this time it's in an alley. Last time we was on a bridge, this time we're on the front porch, but it's the same cycle of pain. And if you're not careful, you will mistake the process to be your purpose. You will think that the process is your purpose, and you will misalign yourself with your process and say, I'm not supposed to have it any better. And even if God were to offer you something better, you would not be attracted to it because you have fallen in love with the process and not the promise and not the purpose. Every time he went up, he went back down again. And every time he went up, he went back. Now he's running from Potiphar's wife, this crazy broad is chasing him around the bed and out the door and through the window. And he's trying to hold on to his job because a brother like him needs a job, and trying to make good. You know how when you've been down and you get a chance at good, you're holding on to good for dear life, and now she done messed around and he done lost his chance at good behind something that he didn't even want her no way, and she was tripping and she lied, and now he's in jail through no fault of his own, and he's sitting up there just looking at his life, just saying, how in the world did I get here? I thought that by this age, I would be so much further. I thought that by this age, I would be here. When I was a little kid, I did not say this is what I wanted to be. I didn't sign up to live life like this. I didn't sign up to deal with the issues I'm dealing with right now. I didn't sign up for any of this at all. I did not sign up to go through this kind of hell. This is not what I was created to be. But this is where I am. Maybe this is all I'm ever going to be. And in the midst of this painful experience down in prison, he's gifted. He's gifted. And if you got a gift, I don't care where people put you. If you got a gift, you just got a gift. You just got a gift. The last time I heard I'm satisfied with Jesus, it was like a 20-something-year-old girl singing it to me through a glass cage from a maximum security prison where she was waiting to be executed. And I have never heard anybody sing like Erica Shepherd sang to me through the bars in my life. Most amazing voice, locked up in prison, waiting to be executed, singing like she could be a recording artist from a prison. The prison had stripped her clothes. She had no makeup. She had no dignity. She hadn't been to the beauty shop. She had none of the things that you take for granted. And she still had a song. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Isn't it funny how you could be all dressed up and having all this makeup and all these clothes and all these suits and stuff, and you lost your song? If the cage bird can sing, if the inmate can sing, if the elderly with arthritis and bad backs and swollen ankles can get up and dance and rejoice and run all over the church, if people can roll in here in wheelchairs and shake the sides of the wheelchair and praise the Lord, how can you with your healthy, blessed, strong self sit there and lose your joy? When you walked in here and drove up here and moved up here, Joseph is operating his gift from a prison. He's gifted in a prison. The oxymorons in life. On one side, I'm gifted, and on the other side, I'm bound. Oh, I could stay there all day. Because sometimes your life makes no sense. How could somebody as gifted as me have this kind of problem? Anybody ever thought it's just me? It's just me. Am I the only one? You would think that if I was going to be in prison, I would not have any gift. Or you would think if I was this gifted, I wouldn't be in prison. But here's the conflict of life, that it can be the best and worst moment in your life all at the same time. And it's weird to me because people see the good part and hate you over the good part, never knowing that you're dealing with stuff that's worse than what they're dealing with, and they can't even see. And so Joseph ministers his gift from a prison cell. He translates, interprets the dreams of the butler and the baker, and he does it from a jail cell, and he's helping other people and can't help himself. Isn't it funny how when you start talking about living on purpose, how you go through a season where you can help other people and can't help yourself? I bet you the best advice you ever gave was for somebody else. You know exactly how they can get out, You know exactly what they need to do to get a breakthrough. You know exactly what they need to have a happy home. You know exactly what they need. You talk about it. That's the thing that drives me crazy about gossipers. I am amazed at people who have the nerve to be talking about other people when your life is in a mess and all by itself, and you sit up there pointing at somebody else, and you know what, child, you know what she ought to do, girl, she crazy, and you got a mess way bigger than the one you're talking about. That's how it is.
Still to come on The Potter's Touch.
I don't even understand myself how I made it. I don't even know how I got here myself. I don't even know why I didn't die myself. I thought I was going to die. It felt like I was going to die. My emotions said I was going to die. But somehow or other, God kept me going. To God be the glory. Everybody's being promoted but you. Everybody's being recognized but you. Everybody's being loved but you.
Your opposition is your opportunity. When you ask, what's the big idea?
You got talent, but you're overlooked, and God allowed it to be so because there's power in being overlooked. When you've been held back a long time and you finally do get an opportunity to get a release, you say, I'm gonna live on purpose. Somebody holler, give it back!
We'd like to give you Bishop Jake's illuminating message, What's the Big Idea, on DVD. Just visit our website or call 1-800-BISHOP2 today.
Glory to God. Touch somebody and say he saved the best wine for last. He made you wait for it. He made you sit for it. He made you frustrated. He didn't serve you when you thought you ought to have been served. He didn't point you out. He didn't recognize you. He just let you sit there. And you said, Lord, when am I going to have a then? And he said, be still and know. And finally, after years, I asked the brother how many weeks or months or years did it take him to get to the place that he could forgive. He answered me in decades. Did you notice that? I asked him about weeks, months, and years. He answered me in decades. He said, well, it wasn't in the 80s. He said, maybe up around the middle of the 90s. Joseph finally gets out of prison. Finally gets out. Everybody spends all their time talking about what happened till he got out. But the real power is that he did get out. And when he did get out, he did better than the people who had never been in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A group of my friends and I were having a debate about how people can come to our country and be more disciplined than us and go to school and take night classes and don't party and don't get drunk and don't get high. And while we're trying to take the easiest major that's available to us, they're graduating with degrees in chemical engineering and robotical science and philosophy. And you wonder how in the world somebody who can barely speak the language comes over here and does better than we did. It's because when you've been held back a long time and you finally do get an opportunity to get a release, you say, I'm gonna live on purpose. I'm totally on purpose. I didn't come here to get high. I didn't come here to snort. I didn't come here to drop it like it's hot. I didn't come here for none of that. I came here with focus because I'm gonna get my life on purpose. I got something to do. I got a time to reclaim. God restore unto me the years that the cankerworm and the palmer worm and the locust ate up. Somebody holler, give it back. You sitting around just chilling. I ain't going to class today. I'm tired. Sometimes God holds you back, restricts you, so that when he releases you, you really have appreciation. You talking about a woman that'll really appreciate a man? I mean, for real? It's generally the one that ain't never had none. Just, Lord, if I ever did have a husband to cook for, if I did, I'd roll this, I'd run his bath water. You don't see married women saying that stuff too much. Sitting up planning how good you're going to treat somebody. Because when you've always had it, you take it for granted. But when you never had it, you're so grateful for what other people call ordinary. You've always been taken care of, always been sheltered, always been covered. Your always can easily make you unthankful. When Joseph got out, whoo, he shot right to the top. Right to the top. There he is, an inmate one day, and the next day he's riding in the chariot behind Pharaoh in Egypt. He's not even an Egyptian, and he's running the Egyptian economy. Let me explain this to you. He is in control of the gross national economy for a country that he is not even from. He balling, shot calling, down with it, got it going on. He doing the thing. Nobody would believe that you could come from that and go to this. He is there. He has arrived. He has made it. See, some of you can't give your real testimony, because if people would have seen you yesterday, they would never believe that Elder Haley over here used to be that over there. But to God be the glory. Touch your neighbor and say, you can't handle my truth. If I told you what I've been through, you couldn't handle it. I just gave you a watered down testimony because you wouldn't believe the hell I've been through to get where I am. Purpose doesn't have anything to do with place or space. It doesn't have anything to do with address and locations, zip codes. Purpose can exist in a prison. Purpose can exist in a painful place. Isolation, demotion, segregation, adversity, trauma, divorce cannot destroy purpose. Purpose can exist in the desert with no water, no care, no development, no nurturing, no nourishment, and you can still live on purpose. In fact, purpose is the only thing that sustains you in the desert. It keeps you from dying. You know why Jesus couldn't die on the whipping post, even though they whipped him with the cat of nine tails until his entrails were hanging out, his intestines were hanging out before he got to the cross. He had been beaten so severely that most people died on the whipping post. You know why Jesus didn't die on the whipping post? Purpose. Purpose will keep you alive in places that would have killed anybody else, but some kind of way you survived it, you bled, you cried, it hurt, but you made it because it was written, she shall not die here. I have a place for her to go, and some of you are living on purpose and you don't even know it. Anybody else that have been through what you've been through would have lost their mind, gone completely crazy, and threw in the towel, but because God had another purpose for your life. Cancer couldn't kill you. Liars couldn't kill you. Hatred couldn't kill you. Malice couldn't. Oh my God. Am I helping anybody? Am I helping anybody? Slap somebody and tell them I'm a survivor. I don't even understand myself how I made it. I don't even know how I got here myself. I don't even know why I didn't die myself. I thought I was going to die. It felt like I was going to die. My emotions said I was going to die. But somehow or other, God kept me going. To God be the glory. I have tried all of my life to understand why God uses people, and especially certain people. Because if you get close enough to anybody that God uses, and you have this superhero ideology of who they are, but if you really get to know them, they crazy too. That's the truth. And it like blew my mind, because I thought, et tu, Brute? You would think that you were this super special individual who was just above everybody else, and God used you because of the superior quality of the equipment. This is crazy as a drunk water bug, and yet you'll get it when you get home. But you know, so I tried to understand why God used Joseph, because now let's be fair with his brothers. I can kind of understand why they would have an attitude. You know, I raised twins, and I was very careful that if I bought one twin a toy, I brought the other twin a toy. So I always had to multiply by two. It wasn't going to be no one bicycle, it had to be two. If it's going to be one set of mittens, it had to be two sets of mittens. My sister could live off a dozen eggs for a week. I told her, my sister, we would blow a dozen eggs in one breakfast easy. She said, really? I said, yeah. We had 5 kids. It was like feeding the United Nations. They bring my groceries home in a truck. I lost my ability to cook for one person. It just no excitement at all. And it was always like that, because you try to be fair. Try to be fair. Try to be fair. Try to be just. I understand these brothers, because I mean, hey, Dad, I'm your son too. Why would you give him the coat of many colors and not give it to me? You had me first. I'm the oldest. I was working in the fields when Joseph wasn't even born. See, there's bitterness. All bitterness does not come through what happened. Some bitterness comes through what didn't happen. You know, how come it didn't happen for me? And I don't care who you are, and you might not admit it, but when you see God blessing other people, and you know they ain't no better than you, sometimes they worse. I mean, you just a little off. They plumb outright crazy. And you find God blessing them, and you've been in the background waiting a long time. You say, this doesn't make any sense. I don't think I would have thrown him in the pit, but I can understand the frustration over what didn't happen. When you start talking about letting it go, it's not always letting go of what did happen. It's letting go of what didn't happen.
We have to stop the message right there, but I hope you've been blessed and encouraged and that you are on your way to figuring out what's the big idea. Before you go, we've got some very special announcements we want to share with you. Take a look at this and then come back and see me.
Everybody's being promoted but you. Everybody's being recognized but you. Everybody's being loved but you.
Your opposition is your opportunity. When you ask, what's the big idea?
You got talent, but you're overlooked, and God allowed it to be so because there's power in being overlooked. When you've been held back a long time and you finally do get an opportunity to get a release, you say, I'm gonna live on purpose. Somebody holler, give it back!
We'd like to give you Bishop Jake's illuminating message, What's the Big Idea, on DVD. Just visit our website or call 1-800-BISHOP2 today. Love, redemption, sonship, you'll find it all in my Father's house.
Stable, provider, girding, guarding, guiding, correcting. He had to come to the end of things before he discovered God. And I think that a lot of this church age has had to come to the end of things. He was there when it started, he was there when it ended. He was the stable place when everything was going crazy. When you didn't acknowledge him as God nor call him God or admit that you had a God, he was there all the time.
For your best gift in helping us reach others, we'd like to give you Bishop T.D. Jake's 3-message set, In My Father's House, on DVD. And when your gift is $90 or more, we'd like to add Manpower 2011, Breaking New Ground. 7 soul-stirring messages on DVD. Just visit our website or call 1-800-BISHOP2 and draw close to the Father today.
I say let's go because we're expecting.
Even if it means saying what others will not say, God will open up a door for you in the strangest place.
This conference empowers women to wake up.
I'm not gonna let you go home with anything left on you.
Hope that the women take this into their communities and just across the world into the mission field and just impact the lives of, everyone for Christ.
God is bringing the melody back.
I just got joy, I got encouraged. 16,000 plus women here, all races, all creeds.
Everything that they spoke was anointed, sent from God.
It is an inward strength that you cannot see.
It was awesome.
No place I'd rather be in the world.
Join Bishop T.D. and Mrs. Sarita Jakes October 4th through 6th for Woman Thou Art Loose 2012. Register today online or when you call 1-800-BISHOP2.
Okay, so maybe you know God's big idea for your life. Maybe you're living it right now. So I have a challenge for you. As God reveals what he has for you, as he reveals the purpose for your life, remember to stay humble. Remember to stay open, and remember to never forget that he didn't have to choose you. In spite of your past, in spite of your mistakes, in spite of your hurt, God saw something in you that made him trust that he could take you higher and higher. God, keep us humble as you lift us up so that we may light a path that leads others to you. Thank you so much for watching The Potter's Touch today. I hope that I'll get to see you next time.
The Potter's Touch.